what's going on, guys? This is Christian with MBS Fitness and Elite FTS, and this week on Shooting from the Hip is one, the Uper Edition, and two, talking about how you know when to choose or hire a strength coach. So, to get it out of the way, Uper. Urban Dictionary calls a Uper anybody that lives in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. And style up there is this badass hat. Plaid pattern. They have almost the Canadian accent. There's a few similarities and a few differences. I consider a Uper basically a really northern, like far northern redneck, if you will. And coming back, I'm in Wisconsin right now, doing this video log, Shooting from the Hip, and just hearing everybody talk up here is hysterical to me because I just forgot the accent, and it's awesome. So, with all that aside, it's cold as shit up here. It is, the high today is 5 degrees, and tonight it's supposed to be -8. So, I'm in my mom's basement, and it's cold as hell down here, too. It's warm upstairs. So, on to the fun stuff. How do you know when to hire a strength coach? This is going to have a lot of carryover into how do you know when to hire a nutritionist, or how do you know when to hire a therapist. But I'm going to say it from my perspective as a strength coach and as a personal trainer being developed at MBS Fitness over the last 5 years. So the number one reason, and it's kind of one of those blue collar comedy skits, is here's your sign. If your doctor warns you of your health and the health issues that you have, and then they say they can improve by exercise or through exercise, that is a great sign that you need to hire a strength coach. Because if you've gotten to that point in your health, and that's obviously a negative thing that your doctor is telling you, you probably have not made your way around a gym very often, and you don't have the education or knowledge to implement proper training techniques to get you into a healthier condition. Next would be if you are doing your job day to day or doing any of your hobbies and you lack energy to do them, you lack motivation to do them, or education to do hobbies that you have and you kind of just like taper off of them, that's a good sign that working out would help in those different areas of your life. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper on that. So one of my old clients, he was lacking energy and motivation to play with his kids. If you get into that position, like, your family should be within the top 5 priorities of your life. So if you don't have energy at the end of the day to play with your kids after you do work, or you're lacking motivation to do that, or if you have a hobby that turns from a hobby into a pastime just because you have lacked education going out and finding that information, when you train, you can actually increase your energy levels. You're going to feel better. You're going to be more motivated to do things outside of the gym, including educating yourself on particular hobbies, particular other topics, and be more of a family man if you have a family. If you don't have a family, you're going to be more active and ready to do things, and you're just going to feel better overall. And that's one of the main reasons that I got into this industry. Is prior to doing strength training, I tried nursing. I wanted to help people, and this is a way that I've been able to do that, and I have seen it happen on a lot of different levels, from a family man all the way up to elderly clients that have a lot of health issues. Another way to know that you might need to hire a strength coach is if you do go to the gym often and you feel like you are making zero progress and you have been doing the same thing day in and day out, week by week, and the days and workouts are exactly the same, and you're just sitting there saying, I bust my tail every time I come into the gym, yet I have zero progress, that's a really good sign that you need some help or lessons in how to further your progression, whatever your goals are. It doesn't even have to be strength. It could be towards CrossFit. It could be towards strongman. It could be towards running. These are really good signs that you need help, outside help from an educated professional, to structure or put something together to make you or make your progression start happening again. Next, if you come into the gym and the majority of the machines at your facility, you have no clue what they do, that would be a good time to hire a strength coach. When we have new members come into MBS Fitness, they might have been at a commercial gym for a while and they still have no clue what a good amount of our equipment does. They've seen a bench press before, but they've never seen a competition bench. They've seen a squat rack before, but they've never seen an Elite FTS, a collegiate rack, or a monolift, a hack squat, or a specialty leg press. If you are asking a facility member, a staff member, on a tour, I've never seen that before, or I don't know what this is, yet you've been at a commercial gym for years prior, that is a good sign that you might want to hire a strength coach, because now you have a bunch of other potential tools in your toolbox to utilize and use to further progress your training or further progress your goals in working out, whatever I guess area you might be in at that time. All right, this next one has been happening a lot more recently since, from my perspective, has been happening a lot more recently since an increase in memberships at our facility. And I can only say this from our facility because that's where I work. I basically live there the majority of the day. If you find yourself asking a lot of questions to a lot of different people, or you find yourself going on the internet and trying to find all the information yourself and getting a lot of conflicting information, or you're kind of just confused, that is a really good time to hire a strength coach. On top of, if you ask a lot of different people, if you're asking staff members often a lot of different questions concerning training, that's a good time to hire a strength coach, because if you have those questions, everyone's going to have a different answer. Everyone's also going to have a different education level. So if you're trying to rely on people that don't do this for a living, and you shy away from asking the people that do it for a living because you would have to pay them, be ready to not progress at all, or be ready to kind of regress, if you will. Because if you're just going to listen to anybody about strength training or specialty strength sports that don't do it or haven't studied proper programming, proper technique, and been around it and implement it themselves, that's an issue. Just because an individual is really good at a sport does not mean they're a good coach to teach you how to do it properly. I see time and time again where I am fixing issues because, and we talked about this last time in shooting from the hip, wanting to lift like your idol lifter, or wanting to try and implement a style of training that of someone you look up to, that doesn't necessarily work for you. So hiring a strength coach or personal trainer to answer all these questions and to get you going in the right direction is going to be the biggest bang for your buck. It's going to be the most efficient, and on top of that, it's going to be the safest. Which then kind of trickles into our last point, or my last point that I have for today, and that's if you're hurt, like debilitating hurt. I'm not talking about sore. Like if you're sore and you barely can walk the next day, I'd shut up, quit complaining. You had a good leg day if you're debilitating hurt, where you can't walk because you have excruciating pain, or your knees hurt, or something severe is going on after training, or after doing a full body movement, squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, for strongman, yoke walks, loading stones, anything like that, debilitating hurt, you need guidance. You need a strength coach to say, hey, you're doing this wrong. If you keep doing this, you're going to hurt yourself. And if you don't take that advice, then I've seen it time and time again. People get hurt and then they want to blame everybody but themselves for not listening. And now they went from making a lot of progression to either completely not being in the gym anymore to being in the gym, still lifting improperly and still furthering their injuries and then doing less and less and less. So as you get older and older and older, all of those issues that you didn't want to listen to anybody about are going to come back and haunt you and make your life a lot worse on the tail end. And then we're going to go all the way back to number one. You're going to find yourself in the hot seat with your doctor saying, hey, you can improve this if you do exercise. So this is what we're talking about, or this is obviously what we just talked about in Shooting from the Hip Uper Edition. If you guys have any more questions or comments, leave them in the comment section, and I will see you guys at the gym.